So they were there. So Thursday now, I mean, Raisa, fell asleep. We're just sleeping for like little parts of a time, right? So when you get a chance to knock out, Zachariah eventually fell asleep at nighttime. Alhamdulillah, Raisa fell asleep. We brought our Instapot with us to the
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah.
We were, um, we were able to cook hot meals at that point. The
Nice.
macaroni and cheese. I think we cooked
Yeah.
Kraft macaroni and cheese. And if it was, I don't know, it tasted like amazing because after so
At that
long,
point, at that point,
yeah,
anything would taste amazing, man. I completely
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Oh,
And we're still like we're not going crazy in our water consumption because the hotel also told us, hey, just be mindful. The hotel is fully booked, so everyone's using water.
yeah,
Um, you know,
yeah.
you're not sure if it's gonna run out or what the situation is. So, we you take quick showers, a nice warm hot shower, but quick. And anyway, so like alhamdulillah, like I remember like on the bed, I was on my laptop and just thinking like my feet are warm. I was like, yes, alhamdulillah,
What an amazing feeling.
warm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
alhamdulillah. Oh my goodness.
it just felt great. And then we're thinking, okay, what next, right? Like we have this hotel, we have to check out Saturday. So on
Okay, so
third,
you have 3 days,
two
basically.
nights,
Well, two
nights
nights.
at the
Yeah.
hotel. Yeah. And so Friday, we're trying to figure out what should we do, what's our next plan. Our friends that were in Dallas that went to Oklahoma City, they came back home now. They have power now. They had water now, and so they were like, "Yeah, come by us. We should be good." And my wife's sisters in Houston were still like wishy-washy. They were getting, I think they had power back now, and even my apartment Thursday night, power came back because they're sending us emails and updates of what's happening. So
Right, right,
we
right,
checked on
right.
Thursday late night. They got power back, but no water. Um, and the reason the water's off is because pipes are bursting all across the city, and they need to repair them because of all the freezing of the pipes, right? So
They don't want
Friday
to
we're
risk.
thinking,
Yeah, they don't want to
yeah,
risk. They're like, okay, we're gonna do the repairs and then turn on the water. Okay, gotcha.
correct, correct. So I mean, for our apartment, the apartment shut off the water because they couldn't risk all these
Yeah,
pipes in the
exactly.
apartment.
Makes sense. Yeah,
I saw videos of what happens when these pipes are burst, right?
yeah.
Like
Oh
imagine
yeah,
that, like there's no stopping it. Like the water just flows like
yeah. We
crazy.
we saw
So
these too, man, and it was like it looked like it was out of a movie set or something. Like
yeah, like you
entire
would think,
roofs just dropping.
yes,
It's just
yeah, just like water falling down. So anyway, so we're thinking, okay, like what do we do next? Like it's Friday right now. We check out here Saturday. We don't know what the situation is going to be going forward, and we thought, okay, let's just look at a flight maybe out of here. We have family in Florida. So I looked at tickets and it was working out. If I left on Sunday, we're getting a good ticket prices to leave on Sunday.
yeah, yeah.
So we said, okay, you know what? We have power. It's okay if we don't have water back at our apartment. We can make do. We'll fly out Sunday. And so, Friday went by. I worked from the hotel on Friday, so I had a full day of work. I was just, working from the hotel. And
Surprised you did, man.
yeah,
I would have been like, yeah, I'm in a hotel. I'm chilling.
I would have, but like other team members were working again. They had power back and whatnot. I just felt
Okay.
bad. I was just like, I don't want to milk the situation.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Nice of
it
you.
was really, and I don't want them to think like this guy's not working at all. So
Yeah.
anyway, my
Plus,
manager
it's
at
a
the same time,
distraction for you at that point, right? It's like, okay, something
yeah,
else to do. Some, yeah.
right. And you know how it is, right? You don't do the work now, you're gonna have to do it later on.
Yeah,
So
it's just you anyway. Yeah, it's all on you.
I
Oh man.
tackle it. So anyway, I booked the tickets on Friday to
Yeah,
leave Sunday to
yeah,
Tampa.
yeah.
Stay by family. I just booked a one way for now. I was just thinking, I don't know. I'll wait for the situation to get better. There's a few things to consider. One, will power stay on now? When's water going to come back?
Yeah,
Boil water notice.
yeah,
And stock of food in the stores. So
Right,
for these,
because yeah,
I said, okay, you know what? Let's just get out of here for now. So anyway, Saturday we checked out. Um, Came back to the apartment. I actually came back to the apartment on Friday. At
yeah,
one point, I drove back to the apartment. I When I knew the power was back on, everything that was outside, I put it back in the fridges and freezers. Uh, Put the heat up in the apartment at like 70 degrees. When I came into the apartment, it was 55 Fahrenheit.
yeah,
Put the Celsius number if you can later on. I don't know
yeah,
what,
yeah.
but
I'll try. Yeah,
after being on the whole night, the apartment reached 55 degrees in the morning, which is still cold.
yeah.
And I put it to 70 so that when we come back on Saturday, the apartment is at least somewhat warm. 70 is like 20 degrees Celsius. It seems like it's laggy. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah,
Clear, clear?
yeah, I'm clear. Yeah, you're really clear. So you said something. You said that you ran it all night, and it's at 55 degrees, and then
Right.
you put it
So
for 70.
right. So I'm just going to check this here. Let me see. 55 Fahrenheit to Celsius. So power, the heat was on all night in my
Yeah,
apartment. And when I came back to the apartment Friday morning, the apartment's at 12 degrees Celsius, which means that the previous nights when we had no power, it was less than 12 degrees here the whole time.
because
Anyway, so
yeah, it's gonna take so long for it to heat it back up that
yeah. So anyway, I set it to 70, went home. I put stuff in the fridge and freezer because at this point now,
yeah,
Fridays when the weather was starting to get warmer in Texas.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Wednesday was 0, Thursday was 1 degree, Friday was 7 degrees. So I couldn't leave the stuff outside anymore. It wasn't
right, yeah, yeah,
cold enough. So I came back, put it in the fridge and freezer. Saturday we checked out. We came back home, and um, now the water situation. Before we left, we filled up as much as water bottles from the hotel as we could. So we have like
yeah, yeah. If you
water.
have something, yeah,
We boiled a whole bunch of water, so we have some pots of water uh, because we need that to if we need to drink any water or consume it
yeah,
or
yeah,
uh, wash Zachariah's bottles or whatnot. Um, Toilet, you can't really flush it, so it's just kind of stuck. Alhamdulillah, my apartment, they did a good job where they actually brought in these tanks of water and they put it outside. So we'll put a picture of that up. I'll have
yeah,
it here. What it
yeah.
is essentially is you take a bucket or containers or pots, and I have to go downstairs, fill up the bucket of water, and come back
You
upstairs.
just bring it up, yeah. And
Yeah,
then this you have to boil?
this you have to boil as
This
well.
you have to
Yeah,
boil as well. Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
But I mean, I made a few trips just to just so I was able to flush the toilets or boil water. Um,
Yeah,
or whatever. And then we packed up as well. At least it wasn't cold. Like alhamdulillah, it wasn't cold, so that was there. But the water thing was just an inconvenience. So we wanted to wash his bottles and whatnot. Like you have like another little, like a little measuring cup, and you're
yeah.
just pouring that and washing some dishes or
Oh
whatnot.
my God, yeah,
We were able to cook with our Instapot. Um, Same thing, like those easy to cook meals.
yeah,
Um, and just pack up our suitcases to leave to Florida. And then Sunday, alhamdulillah, we left with the Frontier Airlines, reached Austin Airport. Wasn't bad. Flight was good. We haven't traveled really since COVID, except for
yeah,
coming to Austin.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So even this was like out of necessity, right? Like, hey,
yeah,
we can be comfortable, be with, family and stuff. Yeah, I hear you, man.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is not the circumstances you really want to have to go and visit them. I would like to take some vacation and go visit them where I can just
Yeah,
chill out or
yeah,
give them more notice that we're coming, stuff like that. But they were very nice. I said, yeah, yeah, like come if you guys have the opportunity, the ticket worked out. Anyway, we went, and You go on the plane, you sanitize the seats and everything before you get there. I mean, the hardest part is just keeping a kid entertained for the
Yeah,
flight,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
How long is the flight? Not too long, I would assume, like an hour.
no, it's like 2.5 hours to get
2.5
to get there.
hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would think like maybe like a short 1 hour less, less than an hour flight.
Yeah, so we get there.
Wow.
It's 2.5 hours. The airport is it wasn't the airport close to them. They have an airport like 45 minutes from their house, but
Okay,
I had
okay.
the only one that I could get direct flight was to Orlando, so that's 2 hours from their house. So I go there. My cousin, he picks us up, and then anyway, then we're in Florida, and in Austin now it's warm. It's warm again. But so now we have in our apartment power is back, but the water's still not there, and it's under boil advisory. So
Yeah.
that's why we left. We're like, you know what, this it's not worth this hassle right now.
Yeah, plus
And
like you said, right? You never know. What if power goes out again? What do you do then?
what if power? Yeah, exactly. You don't know when the water's
Yeah.
coming back. And I don't want to have to keep making trips up to that anyway.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So yeah, man. Alhamdulillah, reach Florida. You know, 2 hours from there to the hotel. Just catch up with family, relax,
Yeah.
eat like men. When we got picked up at the airport,
Yeah.
they had palau ready for us to eat,
Oh man, that's
which
so
was
good. That's so nice of them.
yeah,
Mashallah, man.
yeah. So it's just like
You're like
it, it,
on the two and a
yeah.
half hour drive. You're just
Oh man, and we were at the airport and we were thinking we saw Cold Stone ice cream. Like, oh,
yeah,
should we get some Stone or something? We were hungry.
yeah,
We,
yeah,
at the
exactly.
airport, we didn't want to take off our mask on the plane or in the airport or anything, so we didn't eat anything.
Yeah,
So we reached there, we were able to do that. And I thought, okay, let me just monitor in Florida. Let me monitor the situation. I can text people in Austin, like, what's the situation like, or in Dallas, Houston, and if it looks good, we'll come back as soon as
yeah,
possible,
yeah, yeah,
like the next weekend.
yeah.
And what was it? My apartment got water back, I think Monday or Tuesday, cold water. They got hot water back on Thursday afternoon, so it was good that when we
So
left.
this is now the last week of
Thursday that just passed.
February, right?
Yeah,
Well, the
the
Thursday that
la
just passed. So this is the last week.
yeah. So we had
Okay,
the,
yeah.
the storm, like the ice, the cold front, and then
25th, the 25th of Feb now.
I guess
That's what we're looking at, right? That's when the
correct.
hot water came back to your apartment.
That's when the hot water came back to the apartment. That wasn't here at that point, but anyway, it was just a good move that we left.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, 100% I agree, man. Oh man, just wish you
so
guys could have gotten sooner, I guess. But whatever's
yeah,
best, inshallah, right?
yeah,
But the
um,
world is such in such a way. But yeah,
right. Yeah, flights were canceled. Stuff we weren't really able to get off
yeah,
much
it's been all
earlier.
that.
Though we had the hotel.
Okay, we're back online. Sorry. So no, I was asking you, like obviously you had an early morning flight, and you have someone who was dropping you
Mhm.
off. So like, is it the same airport, like the 2.5 hour away one? Because then I'm assuming you
Yeah,
have to wake up
yeah,
really.
correct, exactly. So it's a 2-hour airport, and the flight's as I mentioned, the flight's at 8.
Oh my God.
You have to be there at 6. You have to wake up at 4. You barely sleep in the night. The night before, with plane. But anyway, we come back to Austin. We're back at home our time around 12 o'clock
Yeah.
p.m. Give just where do you even start? Our apartment's a mess because you haven't cleaned for the week before you left, and even right now, the past week, you haven't really cleaned it.
Yeah.
Um, we
And it's been a
have
week
power
since you've
back.
been away now, right? Because you
Yeah,
left Sunday morning and
exactly.
you're back Sunday afternoon the week after. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we've been a week away from the apartment for a week, and even the week before that, we were um, in the freezing cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing I just remember, speaking about the apartment. So my lock on my door is a fob. Okay, so um, it's not like from when you're leaving the apartment or you're coming into the apartment from the outside, you tap the fob.
And then
It
it unlocks. Okay.
it give then how to say this? You tap it, it gives you a beep, and then you can lock it or unlock it from the
Kind of
outside.
like a
Okay,
hotel card, but not a card. It's a key fob and it's a smart lock, basically.
kind of. But you still have to manually turn the lock um, on when you're on the outside,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So from the inside, you actually have the knob to turn to lock it
Like a regular lock. Yeah.
on yeah, but on the outside you have to do the key fob, and then it allows you to lock or unlock. But with the cold, what happened is from the outside you cannot. That doesn't work anymore. The batteries froze. The thing broke. I don't know what. So if I leave the apartment and Raisa's in the apartment, she can lock it from the inside. It's fine, right? So whenever I would go to the parking garage, she would lock the door for me. But on even from Wednesday, right, when we were planning to leave to go to the people's house, it wasn't locking. I tried like heating it up with my hand or putting a candle there to like warm it up. Maybe the battery would get warm. It
So when
wasn't
you
on.
left
It
for the
wasn't.
hotel and stuff, that door was unlocked.
Yeah, the door's closed.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one comes and opens your apartment door, but it's unlocked. That was just the situation, man. Like at that point, we were just like, someone comes in here and takes everything. What are you gonna do? Like
And then when you
whatever. So
went
I
to
took.
Florida, was that, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you went to
Yeah,
Florida, at that point, did you?
yeah. It wasn't fixed yet. No. So what I did was
Wow,
like
that's a pretty big risk.
all our important documents. I have it like in a folder stuff. I took that with
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
to the people's. I took it wherever we were going. Wednesday night, I took it with us. The hotel, I took it with us. Florida, I took all that stuff with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Uh, so if someone came in and stole stuff, whatever, fine. Steal the TV, steal my monitor. I don't
Yeah.
know whatever you're gonna do. But our important documents, I took that with us just in case. And then while I was, um, and then my Wise Cam is set up, so we have the power. So if someone did come to the apartment, you can record. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop them, but
Yeah.
you know, I think it was like Monday when I was in Florida. The maintenance people were able to come by and fix the door. So
Wow.
and I saw that on camera. It shows like, oh, motion detected, and then it records that whole
So
you
yeah.
know
So you
few
had.
minutes of them
Yeah.
fixing the door. But like you would never leave your door, like your house with your
Yeah.
door.
Just a simple thing as locking your door, man. Wow. Who would have
Yeah,
thought?
I couldn't even lock the door. Uh, but
Honestly,
at that
man.
point, yeah, at that point, like, what can you do, right?
I'm just going. I know, like we talked about these things, and I know. I, I think when we were on message, you did mention something like this, right, where you didn't lock your door and everything. I was like, oh, maybe you were in a rush, and it's just like, okay, yeah, I didn't lock my door. It occurred to me later, but oh well, like
Yeah,
it's not that situation that
right.
I never thought. Like I didn't know the system and everything, and then the fact that it froze it, I'm just thinking to myself, because. Like, there's those fancy locks these days, right? Like with the number pads and everything, it's all
Mm-hmm.
electronic and everything.
Yeah,
Like that's one thing, right? But for such a system to fail because it's too cold, like
yeah,
who, that's the least of your worry that you should like. That's the last thing
yeah.
you should have to worry about. Like locking the door when you're leaving
Right,
to like go somewhere else, right? To be just be comfortable and safe in such an environment. And I'm just like. I was thinking that's like one more thing, that one more straw that broke the camel's back, right? And you're just
r-
like, I,
yeah. It's like, hey,
uh,
what else? What else is gonna happen? What else could happen? Because
yeah, and
normally you have a normal lock. You just lock your door. You have the key
yeah,
when
you
you're
just
outside.
yeah,
Yeah, you
lock
you
and
put your
you
key
lock your
in.
door.
And, yeah, you're done. That's fine. You know everything is safe in your apartment, right? Whatever. Even when I came back on Friday, right? Just myself.
Yeah, yeah.
We had power in the apartment at that point. So I remember taking the hair dryer and just
Try,
trying to heat it
trying
up.
to heat
Just,
it.
but
It's like there's nothing that you
it,
didn't try, right? It's
yeah,
it's
it didn't
just
it didn't work. So we're like, hey, you know what? Whatever. Just leave it. Take our important, valuable stuff, and just go with that. And then alhamdulillah, you know what, they fixed it. No one came in, no one stole anything,
Yeah,
whatever.
alhamdulillah, that's
But
good. But still, just such a basic thing, right? Like you take,
yeah,
I don't know, I don't want to say you take for granted. It's just something that you don't think about in that situation. You're like,
right,
okay, I got my keys, I got this, I'm gonna lock the door and I'm out, right?
yeah,
Like it's
right.
such a simple thing, and now you're like, okay, well, I can't lock it. What am I gonna do, right? Like,
Yeah, we're just like paranoid now.
oh my
Yeah,
God.
we didn't have I had the Wise cam, but it wasn't set up. So
Yeah,
when we left Wednesday, there's no power, so we got Wise cam. Um, Thursday when we left to go to the hotel, it was like, what are you gonna do? If someone's gonna break it now, take it. Like, take what
yeah,
you want
they
to take. I
take,
don't even
yeah,
care. I don't even
exactly.
care at this point. Like, I just need to get warm
I
at this
agree, and
point.
it's yeah, it's not worth more than your health, your safety, and and the comfort for your child, right? Because you're like that's where
Yeah,
your focus is, and just oh my
right.
God, man, these
But
stories, by the way, it's just I'm
I
having
like
goosebumps. Like, alhamdulillah, I'm happy that that you were safe, that you had it figured
yeah.
out, man. But this entire time, I'm just like I have goosebumps, man. I'm just thinking to myself, hearing it now from you firsthand, right? I have. Like I know I've said this before, but I have no words, man. This is something else, man.
Yeah, like I mean, once again, like alhamdulillah, we were always
Alhamdulillah.
safe, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it wasn't like we were in life-threatening situations. It was just inconvenience. We were feeling difficulty for sure. The ice cold water when you have
yeah,
to make wudu or use the washroom.
yeah.
That's it's all
And it's scary
it's
though, man.
difficulty.
And it's scary though.
Oh yeah,
I would think, right? It's dark. It's just
yeah,
imagine,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Everything is around you is
right,
dark. All of a
right. That's
sudden you're in
true.
the
When you have to when you have
all of
to
a sudden you're on the set of Walking Dead or something, you know?
Oh, man, I know. I was just like, and for those of you who haven't seen Greenland yet, like just watch it. Not that
Yeah,
my situation was like that, but Greenland in the movie, it just starts off with basically a comet is coming to Earth and just trying to family trying to get shelter and whatnot. We could just watch that. I don't know whatever day I
yeah.
told you guys to watch it, just a few days before.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
so
I
yeah,
must have missed it. I haven't
it,
seen it yet.
anyway, I mean, my situation wasn't like that. It wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't that. I wasn't
Mm,
in pain. I wasn't in
yeah.
difficulty to the extent that was, something detrimental.
Yeah, you weren't
But these
hurt
little
or
things,
anything,
no.
but yeah.
But just these difficulties,
Yeah, no.
you don't normally think you're gonna experience it, and then just to have it all of a sudden in the cold was like, like, dang, where did this come from? Like
Yeah,
so randomly. Were we ready for
exactly.
it?
Oh man.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, this is like, but anyway, now we're back. Alhamdulillah, slowly just getting back in routine, stocked up on those food items in case you ever
Yeah.
need it again, tuna and whatever.
Alhamdulillah, man.
But yeah,
No, I totally hear ya, but it's just yeah, it teaches you a lot, right? Something like this, and I'm glad. I'm really happy, right? But that's why, and I know, I think giving this first-hand experience, I know you're laughing about it now too, but like it really paints a picture for others, and then hey, you never know, right? It prompts someone to look at their emergency, like preparations, right? Like, hey, God forbid if this happens here or anywhere, right?
hmm,
Like how are you prepared, or or hey, did I think about these things? Because I think that's the goal. Like you said, right? It's not about oh, feel bad for Zishan. It's more like, hey, what was your experience, right? Like, and then it's just something for us, like as just as normal people who could potentially, God forbid, ever be in this situation where, okay, did I think about this, right? And then you going through all these things, right? I'm just thinking to myself, the door thing, right? And it's so simple as, having not hot water, but like warm water, for your child, right? Especially, someone who's in their infancy, right?
hmm,
The diaper, the food, right? The fact that we rely so much, and then just power, like so many things are connected to power, right?
yeah,
And the fact that you're having to run back to your car, but you're like, okay, well, it's nighttime, it's dark, it's kind of creepy. It's not, yeah, it's not scary, like you said. There's no, immediate threat, but your mind is playing tricks on you and stuff, and it's just
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
can't, and it's like I can imagine to a certain degree, right? But beyond that, it's like going through that process, man. Being in let's say in your shoes in this case, right?
Hmm.
In that position to like what am I gonna do, right? And it's not just you, right?
Yeah.
You have a
Right.
wife and you have a child that you're kind of worried about, and I
Hmm.
totally like I as a new father, to some extent I understand that sentiment, right? But yeah, it's definitely a challenging spot to be in. I wouldn't undermine it to say, that it was nothing, but I wouldn't say, yeah, I agree. Like it wasn't a life-threatening, but definitely a challenge that, who would have thought, right? Kind of thing. But um,
Right.
okay, we're back. Whoa, you look different,
How's
bro.
it going, man? Just got a haircut in the 2 minutes break.
Oh yeah, me too.
Wow.
So,
Wow, 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 wow,
wow,
wow.
wow, 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 wow. All right, so where were we? Yeah, so how did you manage things with Zachariah and then, I'll go to my next question. So, how we know that you moved recently, right? So, and with that and facing such an unexpected, turn of events, right? Like, what did it make you feel? Like, what was going through your mind? Did you, at any point, like, I don't know, consider like, oh my God, like, I just kind of like settled down and now, like, what's going on?
Um, that's a good question. So, I mean, at no point did I regret moving. I mean, yeah, I never have I experienced a storm like this. Sure, we've had cold weathers like this in Canada, but under all the circumstances in the perfect storm, we lost the power and the water over here. But um, at no point was I thinking, "Oh, why did I move to Texas?" or "Texas sucks," or "I hate it here," or "I wish I didn't come," or "I wish I was back in Canada." You make a decision. Um, Things like this can happen anywhere. You could be anywhere, and some other situation might happen there. So that never crossed my mind. It was more of in my mind like it's just funny. Like it's not funny in the sense that out of all the places that this is happening, it's Texas,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you. Yeah, it was
yeah,
really surprising because, like even when I look at it now, I look at the pictures and stuff that we saw. It's just, you know, who would have thought kind of thing, right? Like
yeah.
my wife's friend, she's in Fort Worth, but I think they didn't get it as bad, right? Like I think they
No, they some
somehow,
people got it. Some people got bad. It
yeah,
varies. It varies.
yeah,
Some people lost power, and some people didn't lose power. Those that lost power, I mean, yeah, you're screwed. Those that didn't lose power, there were some people that um, tried to limit their power,
yeah,
and then there was some that lost power, didn't lose power, and paid life as normal, right? You're running your dryer, you're running your TV, you're running everything. I mean, what are
yeah.
you gonna do?
No, I hear you, right? Like, and that's why I was like, you say, I know you say that, you didn't really regret, but like, and I know I'm glad that you have such a positive outlook, right? Which is really good, alhamdulillah, because in that situation, right, you want to be centered that no, no, like this is what it is, right? Like I'm gonna focus on this, but
Right?
like, did you? Because I mean, I feel like in times like these, society kind of gets a little chaotic as well. Like people, like I don't know, did you find that you saw around you like people were working together? Did they rally together, or was it more like, it's like an apocalyptic scene, right, where people are just rushing and literally just, everybody for himself, or anything like that? Or God forbid, like, did you
Yeah.
see any confrontations? Not you yourself directly, but like, did you
Right.
see people fighting or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything. I didn't see any fighting in person when I went to Home Depot, when I got to go to Target. There was no confrontation. Everyone was just doing their own thing, though, especially in
Yeah,
Target when you're looking to get the food. Everyone's just there looking through the aisles, like, okay, what can I get for my family?
yeah.
Um,
Were the
and then
stocks, were the stock like was there
oh
stock?
yeah, like the stocks were like gone. Nothing, there
Yeah.
wasn't really water. Wasn't really,
Wow,
yeah, you
okay.
just got some basic stuff. And then even online though, what I was seeing, people were very helpful with each other, saying, "Hey, I have these things. If you need something, let me know. My
Oh,
apartment,
that's
we
good.
have a community board. Some
Yeah.
people said, hey, I didn't get to see this till afterwards, but oh, I have snacks. I put it outside my door. If anyone needs, come by and grab it.
Oh, that's
I didn't
good.
see the stuff till later on. That's when I was checking the boards.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it looks like, yeah, the community came together,
That's
especially when
good. Yeah.
those people that didn't lose power, and seeing their messages on Reddit and stuff saying, "Hey guys, I'm keeping my heat at the bare minimum. I've unplugged everything I don't need to have running, just so that they can take less power from the grid
Yeah.
to help those that didn't have
It's
power." So those
reassuring.
were,
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh man.
exactly. So I
Wow.
would say everyone came together. It wasn't
Yeah.
like everyone hoarding toilet paper that we see in the news.
Oh my God. That was that was my next question. Did you see people hoarding stuff? But it's good to know that, man, because in times like this, that wholesome news really helps, right? And
Hmm.
did you find at all at any point that you were having any, I know you get worried, right? Like people, I think that's a genuine thing, right? But like, did you feel like you were overly, I don't know, you were feeling down or too many negative thoughts, or at any point did you feel oh my God, I'm sure there's some despair, right? But did you and if you did or if you didn't, did you do anything actively, right? So that you don't kind of
Mm.
spiral downwards and start thinking back oh my God, XYZ is gonna happen, or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, alhamdulillah, I didn't have those like the negative thoughts or just just constantly down or frustrated. At the same time, you don't really have the opportunity for that, right? Like if it's just me, it's one thing. I'm in a blanket, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
I'm more worried family. Okay, everyone needs to stay warm. Okay, what can we do? I need to go out and find stuff for us to eat, or make sure our phones are charged so we could just stay in communication. Trying to keep Zachariah warm. Those are just the priorities on your mind. You don't really have the chance to, oh, why am I in this situation? Why is this happening?
yeah. You
Um,
didn't get a chance to.
you
Yeah,
just gotta at that time when it's happening, you just gotta take the blows as it's coming,
yeah.
and think about, okay,
Agreed.
what is your next move?
Yeah, yeah,
What's
yeah.
your next move?
Yeah,
And
and
that's
and
my,
just keep yourself busy with that so the negative
yeah,
thoughts don't have the chance to butt in, right? Yeah, no,
yeah, right.
that's a good point, man. And it goes a long way because now obviously indirectly your wife is like, okay, you know what? She's looking up to you, and then you have like a child, and yeah, and I'm glad because if I like because I was because one of my questions to you was like, did you get frustrated, right? Or did you get angry? Because I understand, right? Like there's a certain level of worry like we talked about, and I know you had channels, and right away you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, or I'm gonna figure out, what's my next move, and okay, I could do this, I could go somewhere to some place, or I could visit somebody else who has power and stuff. But I guess there might be, because you know how we talked about minor inconveniences, right?
Hmm.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, did you get frustrated with those? Because personally, for me, right, it's sometimes this, in a situation like this where I'm overworked or I'm over, thinking too much or whatever, right? The smallest thing then set me off. Like, did you have that, right? And how did you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has a different personality, how they deal with stuff as it comes. Day one, I was like, oh yeah, the power's gonna come back later today or Tuesday. Day on Tuesday now, it's like, okay, Wednesday, you're trying to get a hotel at this point, it's cold,
Yeah,
so you're not as frustrated, but it's starting to build up. You're just like, man, why, like, shoot, why can't I get a hotel? You
yeah,
know, by Tuesday night you're really cold, you want to figure something out. Wednesday we're at that point where like, hey, we're willing to go by some complete stranger's house,
yeah,
um just to get warm and whatnot.
yeah.
And by that time we knew Thursday we were, inshallah, in our mind we're like, hey,
Hotel, yeah.
there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you could say. Thursday we're checking into the hotel.
It's something to
So
look forward to, right? Yeah,
exactly. If I didn't have that hotel booking for Thursday. Um, so if it was like Tuesday and I did not have that booking for Thursday, I'm sure my mind would have probably been in a different place. Okay, like what's next? You could and you can't even drive outside of the city. Like sure, I can probably go by my wife's
Yeah.
sisters in Houston, but they also don't have power. They don't have water, but they're all together. So maybe yeah, but the roads are not safe. You don't want to drive
You
there.
can't drive,
Our
you don't want
friends
to take the
in
risk. Oh my God.
no, yeah, our friends in Dallas. I mean, we didn't even want to drive 40 minutes away to those people that had, that offered us the room.
Just that convo, the part where you said that you spun out almost and just barely inches away from the other car. Just,
Oh yeah, like man, like up till now, I still
oh
get
man.
some PTSD for that, right?
Yeah.
There's that. I think about the icy roads every now and then, when I'm driving here.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, it's like you're driving and it's like windy. You have full control of your car, but I just flash back
But
to,
just the
oh
little
yeah,
juggle too would like,
when
whoa,
my
right?
car
You're
was
used to
sliding
it.
on the highway, and you have Zachariah in the back, and my wife is like, okay, no, okay, get off the road. Um,
Yeah.
but like, alhamdulillah, yeah, I did not reach to that point of despair. You can't
That's good.
shut down.
Yeah.
You have to keep thinking. Okay, Friday, our thing was, what's next? What's after Saturday? After we get out of this hotel, what's
Yeah.
next? And that's why we said we're gonna book we
Alhamdulillah.
booked flight
Yeah. Yeah.
to Florida
Florida. Yeah.
because I want to anything to go wrong, and then I'm still stuck in a situation. So just got to
Yeah.
keep planning ahead.
Yeah. And I think adrenaline and survival instincts kind of play a part in here too, right? It's just human
Yeah,
nature. It just comes out, right?
right.
It's like, how am I gonna get out of this situation? Like, what's next? It's been, like you said, right? The perspective, the paradigm shifts when you have other people that you're responsible for, right? Like your
Hmm.
wife and child. And, and I, just, I think not being in that situation makes you wonder about a lot of these things. Whereas when you're in that situation, it's more like go, 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 like you said, right?
Yeah, like go. That's actually a very good way you put it. In the situation, you're like go, 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 go.
Yeah,
And it sounds crazy. And even to me, I'm saying it now after it's all done, and it sounds
yeah,
crazy. And it sounds like, oh my gosh, like you're adding mirchi and some masala to the story, and it's like, oh, it's so exaggerated. But no, I mean, in the moment, it was, um, I just, your feet being consistently cold. You're so wrapped up, and you're still cold.
yeah.
Um, you don't really have a hot meal to eat. All these little things, it just
All this
add
stuff,
up.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and maybe yeah, I'm not like outwardly angry or whatnot, but you do feel
Yeah,
the
sabr is tested at that point.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so I hear you, man, and mashallah, I'm glad that you kept, control of the situation, you kept control of yourself, and you took the shots as they came, and it's like one of those things, hey, let's take it one at a time. And that's, I think I know it's hard, it's easier to say right now in this position, but I'm glad that you were able to, take it that way, right? And so, yeah, one of the other, like is one of the, I have a final few questions. And kind of like that the way our conversation is steering into that is, what would you say, or what did you find, or what are some of the things you found very challenging, right, about this whole experience, like where you were like, okay, wow, that is, something that really kind of made you feel like, okay, what am I doing, right? Like, and it doesn't have to be something big. It could be something small too. But like, what would you say
Mm.
that were kind of like one of those things that you're like, in your top five challenging things,
Man, I don't know top five challenging things, but I'll
or
just
however
list
you
off
want to
some of the
categorize it? Yeah,
yeah, I mean, some of the things that come to mind, just challenge things. Like one, you're so limited. Like you want to do something. It's like I want, if I had the ability to go and get something I needed to get
yeah,
food or,
yeah,
yes, I have the physical ability, but you can't because everything's shut down. The roads are icy. You can't go anywhere. So you're literally just stuck in your house trying to stay warm.
and can't
That's
pay for
that's the
stuff.
only thing.
Half the time you
No,
can't pay for stuff too.
yeah, exactly. You can't Uber anything. You can drive, but where are you going to drive to? Everywhere's closed, or they don't have any stock of anything. Um,
Wow.
you can't keep warm because there's no power, there's no heat. You can't get a space heater. You can get a space heater. You don't have propane to run gas for anything. So I don't know what, like maybe top five challenges, but all these things, it was,
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
the perfect storm brought the grid down, and then all these other things was the perfect storm just to put you in a inconvenience. And then
Yeah.
uh, and I keep going over the same thing again. Like, if it's just me, it's one thing. Fine, you wrap up, stay warm until things come back. But when you have a little one running around, he doesn't know about cold.
Yeah.
So he still wants to run around the apartment and
Yeah.
play, and
That's yeah.
he's
To him, it's a
yeah,
regular day.
yeah, exactly. His hands are cold. I can feel them. His hands are cold, but he doesn't know that until I have to change him, and he realizes, oh shoot, I'm off with my layers. It's cold.
Yeah. I'm cold. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, those are just some of the
Yeah.
random challenges that happened.
Okay. Wow. No, good to know. So I was gonna put this as two different questions, but I realized it's more of a two-part question, right? And it's like, so going off of the challenges and everything you face, so what would you say that you've learned from this experience? And the other part of this question is that, I guess how well do you think you were prepared for a situation like this, right? For this type of a situation.
Yeah, yeah. Repeat number one again. Let me answer that one first.
Yeah, so like what would you say you learned from this experience, whether it be about yourself or, how well you were equipped, right? And that's
Yeah,
why that's the other question. How well do you think you were prepared for this type of situation?
yeah. I definitely was at that time. Definitely wasn't prepared. Yeah, we had food and all that stuff, but the one thing we weren't prepared was not having power. So you can't cook the food.
Mm,
Um, yeah, you have food to cook. What are you gonna do if you can't cook it? So now I regret not having more canned food, more canned tunas and all that stuff
right.
that I could eat.
This
If I had that, then it was great. And usually we have I love tuna, by the way.
I think
Usually,
I think because of your keto diet, right? That
yes, that
that
too. Like,
plays
we
into it,
threw up
yeah.
snacks, we threw out so much of our other food, our unhealthy foods, or
Right.
the foods that had carbs in it. We didn't have that. Now, after that, yeah, we've stocked up our cabinet with, easy to cook meals,
Yeah.
canned tuna or beans and whatnot. So those are things that we could eat if we ever needed to without having to cook it. Um, so yeah, for that situation, I wasn't prepared. Going forward, to make sure we are prepared, I mean, in an apartment, it's a little bit hard, but things that I would want to have a generator, because so that way
Yeah.
you can just power on something, or at least even if you could
Yeah.
power on your fridge, keep that running while your power's off so that you
Yeah.
don't lose all those groceries. Um,
Mm,
some way to have heat. So I think there's heaters that you can run off propane tanks. Um, so having just gas, propane tank, or a propane stove is important. But these are things that
yeah.
I would never have thought to keep in an apartment. Yeah, if I was in my house or whatnot, then you could put that there. But in an apartment, you're already limited with space.
Yeah, because that was my next question. Like, how would this work given, let's say, for yourself, right, and other people
Yeah,
like you? You're in an apartment building. There's only so much storage you have, and then
right.
there's the excuse me, there's the aspect of obviously rules and everything, right? Like, I mean, I don't know how it works there, right? But a lot of like
Yeah,
apartments
you
here,
can't.
you
Yeah,
can't barbecue, you
no,
can't do this, you can't do that, and I'm just
right.
like, like how is one supposed to? That's why I asked because I don't know if a situation like this prompts them to maybe reconsider some of these rules. That hey, in a specific like type of situation like this, yeah, we'll allow you to
Mhm.
use barbecues or whatever off your balconies. You have a balcony, right? I
Yeah,
think I think you mentioned, yeah.
yeah, we
So
have a balcony, correct? Yeah,
so like I don't know, man. That's something like, like what
yeah,
if let's say yourself or people like yourself who might be like, hey man, like can we relax these rules and and these for this for like an emergency
yeah,
situation.
yeah. Or even if the case was like, okay, yeah, you can't go on balcony, then fine, I'll take my stove outside and just cook it outside. Go downstairs and just, if I have to, on the
Or
side of the road.
something. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because it's
Later
like
on, I think we have a fire pit
hmm
our apartment. So
yeah.
one of the days I read that people were like cooking on the fire pit essentially. I don't know how, but I guess they were holding their pot over the
Yeah,
flame
because it's just a
whatnot. But
pit. It's not like you can put
yeah,
something on. Yeah, you never know.
no,
Maybe you
exactly.
could petition for it. Like, hey, for an emergency case, can we just keep like some sort of a
Like a
mechanism so
rack.
we can? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like give it like a section for halal, vegetarians, and
Uh,
non-halal.
oh man,
You never know, man.
exactly. So you never know. But
No,
I mean
but like,
now,
yeah,
yeah, we've stocked up on like
yeah.
foods, water. We had a flashlight then anyway, but make sure you have like two flashlights, just whatever you need that if your power
You're tying
goes
into my
out.
next question, man. My next question was, hey, and I don't want to like, I know it's hard to pin it down, but actually my next question was going to be name like five items that you think that, we should keep for such an unexpected like emergency in the future or something like that. So, yeah, but yeah, you go for it. Feel,
I would say, let me see. If the power goes out, you want some way to either give you heat or coolness, right? So heat, you can have like a propane thing and it'll heat up
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Uh, or if you have like a generator,
yeah,
generator, but they're expensive, and how many times you're going to use it. But
yeah,
when you do have to use it, it's such a great help.
yeah,
So maybe one day, inshallah, I'll get the generator. Make sure you always have water. Make sure you have food. For me personally, diapers. I mean, I was explaining before,
yeah, yeah,
it was an unfortunate event. We were supposed to get our shipment, but it kept getting delayed until anyway, alhamdulillah, I was able to get it from the
yeah,
store, which was good.
yeah.
Um, Man, what else? I mean, the candles has really helped us, even though it's not really giving off too much heat, but you can feel the difference between the rooms.
In that
Hopefully,
situation,
inshallah,
anything helps, man. I agree.
yeah. I mean, hopefully, inshallah, no one ever has to go through the
Agree. Oh
situation.
yeah, inshallah.
But
Yeah, yeah,
it's you know, usually if the power goes off, the weather's hopefully in a neutral position, so not too hot, not too cold. It's still,
yeah.
what, life normal, okay, whatever. But because it was so cold, the power goes off, that sucks. Or if it's super hot and the power goes off and you don't have AC or a fan, that could also, suck.
Yeah, because I think I know I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, maybe summer it won't be that bad, but I'm like, no, if it's too hot and it's too humid outside, and it's eventually gonna warm up like your place as well, and then getting too much heat or I guess your core body temperature rising too much for too long, that's also not good, right? Because I've heard about Texas heat as well, and God forbid like a thing like this happens in the summer, it's equally like I don't want to say devastating, but it equally has an impact on your life, right? And you can't just
Yeah, it's
say, "Oh,
still,
it's not
yeah,
cold, so it's okay."
all right.
And like, where you gonna go, right? Like,
Yeah, but I mean, you know what? In that instance, I'm thinking right now, if it was hot and the power went out, everyone's using their AC, like, inshallah, the roads you can still drive, go somewhere,
yeah, so
do
you can go
something,
somewhere
right?
else. Yeah, you go somewhere a
Um,
little bit better, I
This one, it
guess.
was like, hey, yeah, we're trapped in the apartment. We tried to go 40 minutes away to someone's house, but we couldn't
That
go because the
icy
roads were bad.
roads, man. That
Yeah, the
that
icy
part
roads was
just
the bad part.
I've only
Yeah.
experienced it a few times, but I can't imagine because I remember I think it was in 2013 that we had that
Okay.
polar vortex in Canada, right? Where everything kind of froze, trees were down, like some people lost power too. Remember? Did this happen?
2014. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
think it
I
was the
think
beginning of 2014. No,
yeah, 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 yeah. End of 2013 and beginning of 2014. I think it was around, and then soon
it
after, I
was right
think it
when I
was
got married. I remember when I right
yeah,
when I got
around that
married.
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly that one, right?
I
So I
remember
remember.
there being a layer of ice on everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like some people had like I know on my street, some people had like Christmas lights still up from the Christmas time,
Hmm.
and they left it, I guess, for New Year's or whatever. So like at night, it looked so cool, right? But most of us couldn't even get up. Like we had our cars completely stuck on the driveway
Yeah,
because we couldn't shovel them out because there was a lot of snow and
yeah,
then this freezing
right,
rain. So even if we wanted to, we couldn't go to work, so we just worked from home. But thankfully, alhamdulillah, like we didn't lose power or anything, right? And I know some people did,
right,
right? Like I remember my boss was
right.
telling me he lost power, like his whole street because the
Okay,
power was down. We did lose a tree. I think one of the trees, because it got so heavy with ice and everything, it basically broke. So there was stuff
right.
like that, but still, we're equipped for this stuff, sort of, right? Because a day or two later,
Hmm.
we had ice, like salt, where it was all over the place, right? So we had somewhat drivable conditions. And really, where else did we have to go? Thankfully, it didn't last too long. It was
Hmm.
bad, right? But country like Canada and I guess in Toronto in general, right? Like we were prepared for that because we had like we just had to do extra salting and extra cleaning. But somewhere like
Hmm.
Texas, right? They were like they don't have. I
Yeah.
mean, how many salt
Where
trucks
do
do
you
they have,
start?
right? Like
Fifteen.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, 15, right? For the whole state, by the way, right? That's
15.
I think
No,
only
15 for Austin.
obviously
I
15
think
for
it's
Austin.
15 for Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, still they're not equipped for that, right? And
Yeah.
even like driving conditions. I know we still have people here who are scared to drive in the snow and icy conditions, but there's still like most people are somewhat accustomed or have like a decent idea, right, on how to drive in those conditions.
For sure.
Whereas, there, like I don't think any of
No.
them like it snows a little bit and then you hear all these incidences. But I
Yeah,
think
you see people on the side of the road. Oh yeah, I remember like when I was driving, like there was just cars on the sides of the road. Um,
yeah,
like no one was in it. It was just they just left the car there. Either the car got hit or something, and it
yeah.
was just there.
I
And
think
if it snows, we like you and I in Canada, we drive in the snow. Like whatever, it's
yeah.
snowing, whatever. You're still
Yeah,
driving.
you're
You
still
have your winter
driving. Yeah, you're
tires
not
on,
driving. Yeah, you
except
have winter
Omer.
tires on. You're
But
being except Omer. Yeah, I was gonna say that not everybody has that, but like we're accustomed to that, right? I mean, Omer is just like, yo, ain't about that life, right? But
no,
like I remember, I think before this whole power outage and everything, you were seeing scenes of the way the snow was accumulating in that huge accident, right? I think on one of the freeways, it was like I don't know, 100 car pileup or something. There was one I
yes,
saw, I
that was in
think
Dallas. Correct. Yes.
it's literally like a semi, like freaking ramming into. And I get it. The guy
Yeah.
couldn't stop, right? I'm not saying that it was on purpose, but just like that sight, right? And I'm like, this is what happens for, when people are just not at all ready for that kind of stuff. And
Right.
it's scary, man. And just a thought, right? And it just really gets you. And now I'm like, I really, like, I know, I think I read somewhere, uh, I don't know if, I think it was a picture. It basically
Hmm.
had like a snowy image and a flag or something. And then
Okay.
someone, basically, it was like a quote by some, I guess, those weather people or whatever, saying that something like this happens every like 10 years or something, like it's an event like this. Because I think in 2011 or something similar had
Hmm.
happened, right? So they basically, I saw a lot of those people like quoting that guy or talking about that guy, right?
Okay.
And essentially, it was it's saying that, this is what happens every 10 years or so. Like, that's what he was betting, right?
Mm.
And I was thinking
Okay.
to myself, okay, so 2011, let's say, or whatever that time was, it happened. And now 2021, it had happened. So let's say, give that 10-year timeline, right? For example, is the government or the state level or municipal, whoever it is, are they actually going to do anything about this? That because of the way the climate is changing and everything, and you never know. I mean, now somewhere like Texas, this can happen. Are they going to take the necessary steps to, address this or be prepared better, right? Because we can talk about you and I, right, like the regular folks
Hmm.
who are, and how do we manage and deal with this, or how can we prepare? But like, I'm just curious, right? Like, I'm just it's not
Yeah.
something that we can
So
obviously hash out, but
yeah, but I know. I mean, so in 2011, yeah, they also had power go out. Those the few that had the power go off, it went off for 8 hours only, right? So they got
it wasn't
everyone,
this
like whoever
bad.
lost the
Yeah,
power, it wasn't bad. They got it back in 8 hours. They knew there was an issue back then. 10 years later, they did nothing, and they're not going to do anything going forward. Texas is a Republican state; it's a red state.
yeah,
They're not about that. How do you call it? Sustainable energy, right? They're
yeah,
all about oil and gas over here. That's one. You have the governor who is a huge Trump supporter, Republican. He said, okay, yeah, the mask mandate is off. Okay, so there was a meme that I saw that said, okay, everyone, remove your masks, but keep them so you can use it to light up for heat the next time the power goes off. Um, like it's a meme, it's a joke, but what they're saying is
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's how
yeah.
stupid they are, right? Like they know they're not going to do anything about that. They're not. They're banking on the situation that this won't happen again. Um,
Yeah, and they're like, oh, it's every 10 years, so it's not that often
yeah.
for us to do anything about it, which is kind of sad, to be honest. But
Well, yeah. But it's how it is what it is. Like they're not about they have
Yeah.
other places that they're gonna spend their money, which is,
And they're not going
they're
to be valid anyway. We
no,
can talk
yeah,
about politics like for
yeah,
hours here, but
for sure. You know what? It's probably not even it's not even a Republican or Democratic thing. Whoever would be in power would feel like, why am I going to spend millions of dollars
yeah,
in a situation that may never happen again? A storm like this only happens every 100 years. They're
yeah,
saying the last time it happened like this was 100 years ago. Sure, the last time you lost power was 10 years ago, but the last time a storm, a deep freeze, 100
yeah.
years.
At this like I guess level of
Yeah,
significance, maybe. Yeah,
sure. Right.
uh,
So, why are they going to
not
spend,
worth it.
tens of millions of dollars to
Yeah,
winterize everything?
makes
No,
sense.
whatever,
Not
right?
worth it for them.
So,
Yeah,
no. So we as people just take a precaution. And here's the thing: every place can have its own thing, right? Like Florida, it's hurricanes. Over there, you have to be prepared. You're living there, be prepared for
yeah,
hurricanes. People in Houston also have to be prepared for hurricane. What was it? I don't know how many years ago, New York, New Jersey got a hurricane. They never do, but it happens. New Orleans got uh, devastated with a hurricane as well.
yeah.
So you never know when this thing's gonna happen. They're never gonna fix it to prepare for the
Yeah, I
future.
mean, there's only so much you can like. I guess you can't do much. I guess too much. I guess in terms of like preemptiveness. But yeah, man,
Just us
just
Yeah, just us ourselves. You just gotta, always have some sort of stock, have your water, have
yeah,
food,
yeah, exactly.
blankets, whatever you can, just to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And just the early signs, right? So something like Texas doesn't get too much snow, but then you see all these car piling up and everything. And I know the broader impacts we don't think about, right? Like who would have thought, right? Like you said, the power would run out and stuff. But I would hope that at least some people, and I don't mean like go and ransack all the stores, but at least like, hey, you know what? I think, yeah, I can't be prepared for this year round, but you know what? When I see there's a little bit too much snow, this and that, and we're not a state that's normally prepared for this stuff, so let's just, just basic stock up a little bit.
Yeah,
And like you said, the big investments, right? Like propane operated things you could just keep, right, as a just in
yeah,
case measure, right? Or something that I don't know, maybe serves a dual purpose, right? So you could use it, I don't know, on a camping trip or something, right? So it's not like okay,
right.
it's like
Yeah,
an absolute emergency kit that you're preparing, but it's also
yeah,
that kind of helps you in your regular like day-to-day lives, right?
for
But
sure.
yeah, no, thank
The
you,
key
man. This
is the key
yeah.
is to buy a Tesla apparently, because I was really some people who had Teslas, right? You just go one, you can put them in your garage. Um, you don't have to worry about carbon monoxide poisoning, whatever, in your garage because it's just battery. So when you're in your car, and then they have this thing where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
camp mode. So in camp mode, you just run it and you have your heater on or whatever in your car, and that can run for days uh, without having. You
Are you
just
telling me that
keep
you're
it there.
buying a Tesla? Is that what you're telling us?
No, no, but I wish. I can't even buy a generator.
I was gonna say, so a couple years ago they had electric vehicle, what do you call rebate, right, in Ontario,
Oh yeah,
and
right.
obviously the
Incentive.
conservative government took that incentive out, and I heard that there was a new incentive that was used, or I don't know what the story was, but I know a lot of people like took advantage of that, right, for the Teslas and any number of other
Hmm.
electric vehicles, right? I was gonna say, some maybe Texas should do that, but I'm like, they're all oil and gas. They're like, no, we want to ban electric vehicles. Forget a
Oh
rebate.
yeah, they were blaming on Fox News. Well, they're blaming the wind turbines for the issue. It's a whole other conversation.
I
Um,
think we're gonna need like another episode just on that, just how the
that's
stupidity
just
is.
like a politics conversation. Yeah,
I won't. I'll be lying to you if I. It's not that I trust you. I know you're a level set guy, but sometimes I'm just like, yo, I wonder if any of this stuff like has any influence at all. Like, I know we joke around, like to you, with you.
yeah,
I mean, right? But
right,
sometimes I do genuinely wonder if it's like seeping in and making any influence on you as a person, right? 'Cause I don't know.
right.
Next thing I know,
I'm
Zishan's
sure.
driving a 4x4. It's like all
Oh
diesel in
man,
it.
dude. Even before I came here, I wanted a 4x4. So maybe you know what, the Tesla side Cybertruck. That's where it's at.
Okay. The best of both worlds. Yeah. Oh man.
Right, yeah. Get the
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, alhamdulillah, like throughout the whole thing, you just gotta stay positive, do what you gotta do, stay warm. So we got out of it.
Yeah.
Good now.
Alhamdulillah,
So,
back home safe. But
yeah, exactly. Weather's good again.
yeah, man, there
So
was lots to unpack here. So, um, I hope I hope everyone like got a good picture of, this experience. And there was a lot of interest, like I said, right? A lot of people wanting to, obviously, we care, right? But at the same time, getting this first-hand experience from someone on ground zero, that's a
hmm
big deal, right? It's not something that everybody gets to, like, you read about it, you see it, it's on the news, this and that, right? But yeah, no, I'm really happy, alhamdulillah, that you're back home. You're all safe, you're warm, and yeah, I know summer is coming up soon too. But thank you very much for spending the time. And I know we had been going back and forth on this, and thank you again for all the people that are watching and listening as well. Because yeah, we like I told Zishan, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna put ourselves like a time limit, but there's so much that that we can talk about here, so I don't really want to say, oh, everything's got to happen in this time slot, right? So but yeah, man, thank you once
yeah,
again.
no, yeah, man. Oh, thanks to all the people. I mean, so many people reached out as well to me during that storm. So thank you for that, and just offering, what can they do to help and this and that, and
Alhamdulillah,
you know,
man.
that just kept me, positive as well. Just having everyone to chat with where possible. That was good. Just knowing that, hey, people care.
Yeah.
Those close to you care. It just helps keep your mind in the right state. And
Yeah, man, I agree. Alhamdulillah, like, and that's why, that's why the group works so well, right? Because it's like
for
you
sure,
know that, you have the support, right? The support system is a big deal, right? And
yeah,
I know we were far, but like, same, like I was talking to you, and then so many other people were too, right? Everyone was like, what can we do? Like, our friend is there.
yeah,
And like I said, like my wife's friend was there too, and we were like talking to everybody that we knew too. We're like, what can we do? Like, I know we can pray for you, but is there anything that we could help you with, right? Alhamdulillah,
yeah,
I'm alhamdulillah for our group, I guess. A good
for
bunch of
sure. Well, I
guys,
mean, yeah,
right?
definitely.
But yeah, so with that, we'll say our goodbyes, inshallah, until the next episode.
Cool.
Hopefully,
Sounds good.
we didn't. This was more of a just a situation. So inshallah, we have a lot more stuff planned, and you know,
For
we'll
sure.
continue this. And yeah, but thanks again.
Cool.
Alrighty,
Oh
sir.
man, thanks for having the chat. It was good to.
Thank
You know
you.
what? I
Thank you
really
for sharing.
enjoyed
Yeah.
just getting my thoughts out. Thanks for questions to get me thinking about it. I mean, the point of this whole, reason we record these things is so that we can record our thoughts
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
years from now we have it jotted down. What was that
Agreed. Yeah.
situation like? So,
Yeah. I mean, who knew,
once
right?
again,
Who
yeah,
knew
I
we
mean,
would be talking
who
about
knew,
this?
right? Yeah, we had so many other conversations planned that for our next
Yeah.
episode, and this is what we ended up talking about when Texas froze over.
Yeah.
Um, and but I mean, like, once again, I think we have the same message out to everyone. If you have something to chat about, let us know.
Agreed.
We'll be
Inshallah.
more than
Yeah.
happy to put that
Yeah, we'd
to
love to
video.
put we'd love to put more stuff down and maybe shift gears a little bit too, because I know we've talked about personal lives and struggles, and we can talk about anything, right? So yeah, inshallah, next episode we can try to bring some a bit on a lighter topic, maybe.
Yes, cool.
Inshallah. Alrighty, sir.
All right,
Jazakallah khair for your time, and inshallah, I'll talk to you soon. Alright.
inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.